we're gonna live like this. This is good. So here we are, absentee ballots, the preliminaries. If you're assigned to work on election day, you must vote by absentee ballot.
Oh,
Oh no, this is incorrect, because the part of this presentation was done for many other poll workers. For absentee ballot poll workers, there will be time before our operation begins at 8 a.m. You can get to your polling place before 8 a.m. So that's not relevant to you. What
Just
is
to confirm,
relevant-
I can vote in person on election day right before we start.
Yes,
I
correct.
don't need an absentee ballot.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. On your scheduled day, because some of you are working on Monday, some on Tuesday, and some on Wednesday, please arrive about 10 minutes before your scheduled time. You need to bring all the food and drinks that you will need and want for the whole day, because we used to supply some food at the polling places and coffee and that sort of thing, but because of the COVID virus, we're not doing that. And a small point, but important, that whatever liquids you have need to stay on the floor, because if the ballots get wet, we will have difficulty.
I can hardly hear you.
Pardon me?
I can hardly hear you. The audio is very static.
Is everybody else besides me muted at this point? I think that sometimes can help.
Now it's better.
Dolly,
Now it's better.
it's better.
I can hear you more. Yeah, it's better.
Okay, good. And maybe you, Dolly, could mute yourself as well. Just, it might help for everybody. Thank you. But by all means, interrupt me at any time. I'm very happy to be interrupted to answer questions. So anyway, the ballots cannot get wet, because then they will jam in the tabulators. And at Greenwich High School on election day, we will have 6 tabulators operating basically the entire day. We will be feeding ballots into those 6 tabulators. And it will be unfortunate if one of them is jammed. So we're going to have a quick run through on our safe voting. Some of this may not exactly apply to the absentee ballot operation, but much of it does. So in the few days we have leading up to the election, please do your best to avoid any large family gatherings. Just pay extra attention to all the COVID responsibilities. If you've recently traveled or plan to travel out of Connecticut in the next few days before the election, please let Fred or me know. A lot of travel is no problem, but we have had one poll worker who was flying to one of the states. It's having a very high level of infection, and there wasn't enough time. She researched, but there wasn't enough time for her to have a test to see if she was infected. So we decided that she really shouldn't be a poll worker this time around. What I want to emphasize here is that even if it's the very, very last minute, don't hesitate to call us. Our goal with this election is to make it as safe as possible for everyone. So on the morning of the day that you're doing your absentee ballot work, take your temperature, and please call us if you have a temperature. Pack all the food and beverages you need. Your salaries will be increased by $15 to cover the food expenses. Wear a mask into the absentee ballot counting, I'm trying to think what that counting chamber. And we have a lot of additional masks, gloves, a lot of personal protective equipment. And I actually recommend that we have K95 masks if people want them. And that's what I wore during the primary, which was a very long day. And I found it to be very breathable and wore it for the whole day. And I think it's a bit more protective than some of the other masks. So you could wear your own mask into the room and then take one of the KN95 masks, leave the room, put it on. We have to have masks worn at all times in the polling places. This is for your safety and also for the safety of your fellow poll workers. And it's for everybody's comfort level as well. If you have a problem with this, you need to let us know. So disposable gloves, that is really optional. It's up to the individual person whether they're more comfortable with or without them. In absentee ballot processing, there is a lot of exchange of materials, and some people are more comfortable wearing gloves. You will be provided with some hand sanitizer. I'm pretty sure we put the KN95 mask into a little packet that you'll get. But if not, they'll be easily available. This is very important. Take a break, leave the polling room, go outside. Really, anytime that you feel your concentration lagging or you just need a breath of air. It's a long day and the work is not stimulating. It's not like sitting at a polling place where you're seeing a variety of people coming to vote. This is very detailed, and everybody will need a chance to refresh themselves. Now we're into the process. So we have 3 days of absentee ballot processing: Monday the 2nd, Tuesday the 3rd, and Wednesday the 4th. Most of you are assigned to 1 day. A few of you are assigned to more than 1 day. As of last Friday, Greenwich has 41,138 registered voters. I believe this is a record. I don't think we've hit that number before, but I haven't had a chance to research that. I've been too busy getting ready for the election. 15,734 Greenwich voters applied for absentee ballots as of last Friday, and 10,405 have voted by absentee ballot. I expect that number to go up a fair amount this week because unfortunately the COVID numbers are going up, but also some people just leave it to the last moment, and they'll be dropping them off in the ballot box this week. So if you're working on Monday, what we're doing on Monday is we're pre-processing absentee ballots in the town hall meeting room from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have 7,000 ballots of that number I just mentioned that are currently set aside by the town clerk as the ballots that we will pre-process on Monday. What we will be doing is confirm the number. She's telling us, she's giving us 7,000. We'll be confirming that it is 7,000. We will open the outer envelopes. I mean, some of you may never have voted by absentee ballot, but the packet has an outer envelope and an inner envelope. Your ballot goes in the inner envelope. The outer envelope has some voter information, name and address of the voter. The inner envelope does not have that. So we will be opening the outer envelopes. We will be looking to see if there is a signature on the inner envelope, and basically simply by peering in, and there's a few other things we'll be doing as well. There'll be detailed instruction sheets at everybody's table that will go through this processing in step by step. And these 7,000 ballots that we pre-process on Monday will, at the end of that day, we will return them to the town clerk. She will store them in the town clerk's vault, which is really like a bank vault. And then on Tuesday morning, these ballots will be delivered to Greenwich High School at 6:30 in the morning by the Greenwich Police Department. They will be in 7 plastic bins, and each bin will have 2 seals on them with numbers. And we will have a list of the bins as they're loaded into the police vehicle, checking the numbers. And when they arrive at Greenwich High School on election morning, we will again check those numbers. Oh, an important point is that Fred DeCaro, my counterpart, and I each have hired half of the absentee ballot poll workers. And everything that is done in the absentee ballot processing is done in pairs. One person who was hired by Fred, one person who was hired by me will work together, whether that is sitting at a table with a plexiglass screen in between you and your partner counting packets or that sort of thing, or if you're working on feeding ballots into the tabulators, there will be 2 people at each of the 6 tabulators as well. We have a special project which is processing overseas ballots, and we have 2 people, one from each party, doing that work. And for the what I just described, the transport of these 7,000 ballots, plus another maybe 4,000 or 5,000 that will not be pre-processed, that will also be transported to the high school. There again, when we check our numbers of the sealed bins, there is somebody hired by Fred and somebody hired by me working on that process. So now on election day, we have our ballots, they've been delivered. And we have a combination. We have ballots that we pre-processed on Monday. Some of you will be just working on Monday. And we will have ballots that have had no processing done. So our goal here is to, with the ballots that are pre-processed, we will be opening up those envelopes, which we're not allowed to open until election day. We'll be opening up those envelopes. Teams of 2 will be assigned to start opening up those envelopes so that we can start feeding those tabulators as soon as possible. Then with the additional ballots that we have that have not yet been pre-processed, we will be doing the same pre-processing, and then those ballots will also be fed into the tabulators. And there we go. So who are we? We have 50 poll workers on election day. On the other 2 days, we have a smaller number. We will have 32 ballot processors, 12 tabulator feeders, 2 overseas ballot processors, 1 absentee ballot moderator, that's Howard Richmond, he's somewhere among us here, and 3 assistant moderators, Ryan Amelia, Chris Daly, and Terry Fisher. And this is what the room will look like. So it's a little hard to see, but there was a few key points I want to make here, which is, I don't know, can you see my cursor as it moves here? Oh, good. So these red marks I put on our layout for gyms A and B at Greenwich High are marks that are telling us ballots cannot move across those lines. So we will have 2 rows. Oops, I lost my cursor. Here it is. Oh, it doesn't show up on there now for some reason. I don't know why. Ah, there it is. Okay. So we will have 2 rows So this is 8 people appear at a table properly distanced to the next pair, and 2 rows of those 16 people who will be processing ballots in districts 1 through 6. And those ballots at all times, you can only process ballots 1 through 6, and they have to, it disappeared again. There it is. These ballots have to be put into these first 3 tabulators. They are programmed to accept ballots from districts 1 through 6. And you see more red lines here. So for the tabulator feeders, the ballots that go into tabulator A need to always stay in this area of tabulator A. If we have a tabulator failure, what we do not want to do is have ballots mixed up between the tabulators, which will mean we will have to process everything again. And I mean, we think it's going to take a big piece of the day to do the processing we need to do. So we need to handle it well. Oh, there it is again. And same, here's district 7 through 12. Those ballots can go into any of these three tabulators, but they cannot cross over here. And anything that goes into this tabulator, they'll be going into one of those big plastic bins you're familiar with, the big black case. But because of the quantity of ballots we're talking about, that case will be emptied periodically in the day. And those ballots need to sit right. I don't understand where, oh, there it is. Okay, they need to sit right in this little section, anything that goes through there. So we have, as I mentioned, we have our moderator. I'm going to be there the whole time. We have assistant moderators. We have an overseas ballot processing area. And then we have one more red line area. And that is because we're expecting that there may be some members of the public who will want to observe the absentee ballot process. And this is allowed by state law. Connecticut law provides that members of the public may observe absentee ballot counting, but they may not be so close that they can see the actual vote. Well, we've created an area for them, and I've created a document that describes to them what we're doing and how the whole absentee ballot situation is set up so that they can watch from a distance and see that, well, this sheet has various things on it, like no vote totals will be posted or announced until after 8 p.m. Who is resolving issues that arise, and that sort of thing. And basically that the most important thing being that absentee ballot poll workers work in pairs, one Democratic appointee and one Republican appointee. So they will be able to be in this area and watch what we're doing from a distance. Okay. And then the last day, we assume, I mean, anything could happen, but the last day of absentee ballot processing will be Wednesday. And Wednesday, the laws were recently changed in Connecticut so that any absentee ballots that arrive on election day, either by mail or into one of our ballot boxes, cannot be processed on election day. Those ballots have to be processed after election day. And the reason for this is because we can then compare those ballots to the poll books, the books at the polling places that show who voted at each polling place. And that way, if somebody has voted at the polling place and then at the last minute dropped an absentee ballot into the ballot box, we can see that that absentee ballot cannot be counted. So this, again, will take place in the town hall at 10 a.m. We'll be working until we're done. I actually don't expect that this will be a very long day. I hope I'm not proven wrong.
Mary,
Yes,
it's Liz Peldunas. Can I ask the counter to that? Because I've never done any of this before.
Yeah.
How do you know? I understand what you just said, but how does the person sitting at the poll know if somebody already deposited an absentee ballot and prevents them from voting there?
yes. So when the official voter books are printed, we actually arranged to print them at the very last possible moment this
Okay.
time. So they'll be printed with, if people have voted by absentee ballot, there will be an A next to their name. And the official checker knows if somebody comes with an A next to their name, part of their training is that that person has voted by absentee ballot. But in addition to that, there will be a list emailed to the moderators at each polling place with the last minute additions of absentee ballots. So anybody who's voted by absentee ballot up through Monday evening, they'll be notifying the polling place. And then the poll workers mark in their books, they add an A to those additional names.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. So please, if you have questions while you're working, call over the moderator or assistant moderators. Nothing is too trivial. I've been working this evening on the, we'll call them cheat sheets for the processing issues, the pre-processing, and then the other side is the actual dealing with the ballots. And in doing that, I can see that there almost everything that you're doing is going to be very routine, but occasionally you'll come across something that just seems a little bit different. And that is when you need to summon the moderator. So what did I say? Call the mod squad, I think is what I have. So nothing is too trivial. If you need a break, speak up. Everybody needs breaks. There will be this sheet I'm just mentioned, this pre-processing guidance sheet at your table, and we will be changing roles throughout the day. We can't have people spending their entire time feeding those hungry tabulators. So we will be changing our jobs around a little bit. And if you have any questions, please contact us. So these slides are available on the Town of Greenwich website, the Registrars of Voters page. There's a, you can, if you go to the link that says, I want to be a poll worker, it will lead you to training materials. And let me just end this show so I can return. Are you seeing me or something else?
You're still sharing your screen, Mary. There you are.
Are we back to normal?
Indeed.
Okay, good. Thank you for your guidance. So let's see, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So if you go to the registrar's page on the Town of Greenwich website, there's a whole lengthy set of links to poll worker trainings. And this is already available on there. If you cannot find that, if you have difficulty finding that, just send me an email and I'll send you the link to that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I think this came up in our trainings with other poll workers. So it's a highly charged election. There's rules in the polling places about wearing anything campaign related. You cannot wear clothing that has any candidate's name or likeness on it. But for our poll workers, we have more stringent rules. We really want a totally apolitical environment. Not only do we not want campaign clothing, we don't want any cause clothing, save the whales or whatever. We just want bland and efficient and apolitical. And that is all I have this evening, but by all means, if you have questions, I will try to answer them.
I have a question. It's Sandy Morano.
Yes.
Is going to New York considered, I mean, it's out of state, but is New
Yeah.
York okay?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. New York and Connecticut, I've been working in concert to, yes.
Okay, I thought so, but I just want to make sure.
Thank you for asking.
Mary, will
Yes.
the cheat sheets that we'll have on Monday be on the training site?
Yes, within a day or two. Yes.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I admit to having read the manual and felt a little overwhelmed because this is my first dip into the pool.
I'm so happy you mentioned that. So this manual, it's all we have. We have to follow guidance from the Secretary of State of Connecticut. This manual was written in 2013. The laws haven't changed a great deal, but they have changed a bit for this election, but not so much in the processing areas. But I think it's incomprehensible. I couldn't agree more. And I hope my cheat sheets will be helpful.
Okay. I didn't think it was incomprehensible, but I thought, oh my goodness, if there's a test on this and I don't have a cheat sheet, I'm sunk.
Yeah. I think what will happen is initially, I think it'll be a little, the process you'll want to be meticulous, but then as things go on, it will become much more routine.
And then one other question. So the pairs that are working together, are they duplicating each other's work, or is that person there just when you have a question about something you don't understand? What is the pairing purpose?
They are duplicating each other's work. So if you're counting a batch of 25 packets of absentee ballots, you count it, and then your partner counts it.
Okay.
And it was a little hard to see on that layout of the gyms at Greenwich High, but you're sitting at a table, and in between you and your partner is a plexiglass screen. But you will find that in order to accomplish your job, you will be there is a little slot, but chances are you're going to be handing materials back and forth around this screen.
Okay. And those red lines that are on the picture will be on the floor for somebody who's like bone tired at the end of the day. So
no, they will not be on the floor. There are some between the tabulators there, I believe, looking at this, it looks like there'll be some of those movie theater dividers.
okay.
But in between districts, the processors for districts 1 through 6 and districts 7 through 12, there is nothing dividing those, but I think there may be spacing. But I see Howard there, our moderator, and Chris Staley, and I know Harry Fisher is here as well. I'm not sure I saw Ryan, our 4th assistant moderator, but I think it's hard to present it. It's easier when you see it in the flesh. I think it'll be clear. if we need to put a few chairs or something there to remind ourselves, we can do that. Any more questions?
I was just double checking my email. I don't think I saw a confirmation for the exact day that I'm working. It's safe to assume that I'm working on election day if I haven't heard otherwise.
I don't know, Frank. I think maybe Fred might have hired you, and I can take a quick look on my computer and see. Now I can't see your name anymore. Can you tell me your name again?
Frank Rinaldi.
Frank Rinaldi is working on election day. Yes,
Perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mary,
Yes.
this is Pat Norcross. I saw on screen, somebody had asked the question, if one person in a pair wants to take a break, does
Yes.
the other person takes a break at the same time?
Oh, our chat's going on. I couldn't keep up with that. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. We're just going to need to be flexible. The goal is that people will not be moving their seats around very much, because obviously anytime somebody does, you need to extra sanitize your work surface and the chair and that sort of thing. But that might be an opportunity to give somebody who's been feeding ballots into the tabulator a break and do that for a while and that sort of thing. I think we'll have to a little bit play it by ear and see how it goes.
Thank you.
Mary,
Yes,
what are the hours for each day?
yes. So on Monday, it's 10 until I would likely 4. We may finish before 4, but I think it's likely 4. Tuesday, election day, is 8. I'm going to say 8 until 8, but it is truly a guess because we've never processed this number of ballots with 6 tabulators. Well, I just don't know how long it's going to take. And then Wednesday, again, is 10 o'clock until it may not. Wednesday, we're only processing ballots that come in on election day, either by mail or into the ballot boxes. So it may not be a large number of ballots. That could be a short day.
I have a question. If it's at Greenwich High School, right? We're going for the absentee ballots?
For the election day is at Greenwich High School.
Oh, and the day before is at Town Hall?
And Wednesday is at Town Hall.
Okay, on Tuesday, the election day at Greenwich High School, like, it's big. I'm
Yes.
sorry, what door are we going in and where should we park?
Yes. So go around to the back of the school. I haven't had a chance myself to poke around there, but maybe somebody who's more familiar with the school can speak up and guide us. But there will be a polling place there. District 8 has their polling place in one of the gyms. And Greenwich High has 3 gyms. One gym is the polling place. The other 2 gyms are really a combined room. They call it 2 gyms, but it's really one very large room. And that's where we'll be. So you go around to the back of the school. There should be no problem parking because the schools are closed on that day. And Superintendent Jones assured me that they weren't scheduling any staff meetings or whatever. So there's plenty of room to park. Exactly how you go in or where you go in, I'm not 100% sure myself.
Okay,
So
that's a good thing.
Mary, if we're in the gyms, probably the best entrance is to the left. If you're looking at the back of the building, to the left of the swimming pools. So you'll see all the windows and you'll see the pool inside. And there's an entrance right next to it. And that is the hallway that the gym doors are right off of.
yes, exactly. And that is, thank you for that.
Sure.
Mary,
Thanks.
it's Michaela. I have a question.
Yes.
I volunteered also to do the breakdown afterwards. Do you know what that entails?
Breakdown.
I think I'm supposed to break down tables.
I don't think that's part of our operation. Could that be part of your political party's operation, maybe?
All right, I'll ask the person on the email. I just thought maybe you knew the process.
No, no. That doesn't, it's not part of our process. Our breakdown is handled by the town.
Are you allowed to bring your cell phone with you or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Bring your cell phone. I mean, you surely would want it during a break or give yourself a tiny little break. Just where you are is fine.
As fair warning, cell phone service at the high school is pretty horrible. So,
Yeah. I think that I will have access to a Wi-Fi. I'm not 100% sure.
yeah, the Wi-Fi will help for texting, but
Yeah.
cell phone service stinks.
Thank you. Thanks for that warning. That's good.
Mary, just a quick question to reiterate, Frank. In the morning, if we have to get there 10 minutes before, if
Yes.
we do have to vote, how much time even prior to that would you say that we should arrive?
For your voting.
Yeah.
Well, are you voting at Greenwich High or?
Technically, I'm supposed to be voting at Central Middle School.
Oh, well, you definitely have to go to your polling place that is your normal polling place. So you need
Okay.
to first go to Central and then come to the high school.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So it's very hard to predict. We have found that voters tend to, the busiest times are earlier in the day. And so you, I think, should prepare to be in somewhat of a line in the early morning hours.
Sounds good. Plan accordingly.
Yeah. Oh, are we, any more questions?
I
No.
have a basic needs question.
Yes. Yes.
So can we have people, can somebody drop off food for us and can you go out and pick it up, or you just bring everything and you sit
Yeah.
at your table and eat and get to go to the bathroom once in a while?
Well, I think it would be fine to have somebody drop something off. I mean, I'm imagining, I check the weather every day, and I believe so far it looks like it'll be a dry day and not terribly warm, but not terribly cold. And I, think maybe if there's, eating outside is ideal. If it's too cold, you could sit in a car and eat, and I think that would work well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I don't want to cut anyone off, but you do know you can email Fred or me with any questions or concerns. And I'll be posting the detailed instructions in the next day or two. I want to go over them with Fred and also with Howard, our moderator, so that we are all on the same page. And thank you so much for coming, and thank you. Oh, wait, I should just quick check the chat in case somebody asked a question. Hours of the day. Okay, I think we're good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.